Guys, it's happening. The Pulp Kitchen pub quiz is back.
You've missed it, we've missed it. We haven't done it in 2 years, but for 2 nights in September, we're bringing it back. On Thursday the 24th of September and Saturday the 26th of September, we're doing the pub quiz.
So assemble your team. Ticket information is as follows. Everyone who is a Patreon subscriber will be able to get access to get tickets on Tuesday the 30th of June. Everyone else will be able to get tickets from Thursday the 2nd of July. Make sure you get them. We only have a limited amount.
It's going to be an amazing night. See you there.
Hello and welcome to episode 237 of Pulp Kitchen. My name is James Briefel.
And I'm George Pundek. And actually, we've not sat down together to record an episode in quite a few
bit
weeks.
Busy, isn't it?
We've been very busy.
We're
That's
doing
why,
our
guys.
best. We travel, then you're about to get married.
Yeah. So we've a bit more disruption.
We've got subs in, but we just recorded a bunch of great stuff for you guys. Don't think when we're back, we're cooking.
Oh, and like to be fair, even when we're busy, we're cooking. So
we're always cooking.
Like we are an independently produced podcast.
Mm-hmm.
It's just us doing this, and you may hear us shout out our producers at the end of a show. Those are our Patreon producers who we're greatly appreciative for. But yeah, we've had I can't remember the last time we did an episode together. It was probably nearly a month ago. We had Hay Festival, then you went to Tribeca.
Yeah, sure.
You had Fred on when I was on holiday. I had Zohar on when you were in Tribeca. We had Jack Whitehall on last week. So now we're finally sat back down together. Hey. And I'm afraid the next 2 weeks I will also be off because I'm getting married on honeymoon. And then the week after that you're on holiday. But don't worry, guys. There's lots of great content coming. So, but hey, nice to be back.
Hey, how are you? Good to be back.
Yeah.
Hey, let's have a good episode.
Let's have a bloody good game.
Pulp Kitchen.
It's warm today, guys.
It is peak heat wave, as we said. So if we look a bit clammy, if we look a bit moist, that is why. But don't worry, we will hold. I'm like clenching to get through and give you the best episode that I can whilst we sort of melt a little bit. But today we're going to be talking about Matt Damon. The career Matt Damon. Matt Damon. As he's also known in more artistic circles. But it's an interesting one for Matt Damon. An actor we both really like. And for obvious reasons, I'm just going through the list of films today. He has been around doing a lot of great films, being very busy for a long time. And arguably, George, you could say, we're about to watch him in the Odyssey. That's arguably the biggest role of his career.
In a career full of big roles and big movies, you're right. The Odyssey, which is coming out very, very soon with him in it, is his lead role, is his biggest project.
The biggest film director working today in the biggest story you could think to tell.
Yes.
With a really big budget, with really big cameras, and other big actors around him.
You went with Michael McIntyre then.
You've got all the big actors with the big cameras. You put them on the camera and they set the film.
Christopher Nolan said, put the thing on
70 millimeters. They do 70 millimeters now. I never knew how many millimeters I need. It turns out 70 is how many.
People say, have you seen it in IMAX? I said, who is IMAX? I don't know who to do IMAX is.
Would you get the expanded aspect
ratio? If you're not from the UK, you don't have a clue who that is. If you are
we just exploded in McIntyre.
I had McIntyre for Film Bites. He probably had loads of things to say. When I saw the Final Destination movie, it scared me.
I saw the Banshees of Inisherin. I didn't know what Inisherin was.
The Banshees of Inisherin. Say the same thing 3 times, but in different intonations. That's the comedy gold.
Have you seen Sean Walsh doing Michael McIntyre? He's like, I put the toast in the toaster and I wanted it to be bread, but now it's toast.
I do think Michael McIntyre gets a bit of a hard rap, actually, from people. I think people think, I get it, like people look at him and think that he is the sort of he is the definition of mainstream broad comedy, but he does it very, very well.
He's kind of like taken on the observational comedy style of like a Jerry Seinfeld and but in the UK. Did you ever notice that type of comedy? But I think he's so wickedly observant and takes something so ordinary that you never thought of and makes it really funny. I think it's great.
If he wasn't that good, he wouldn't have been able to stay in that career for that long. That's ultimately it. No one can stay there forever. So,
But anyway, Matt Damon. Before we start, George, I actually had something I wanted to talk to you about. I mentioned it very briefly in the Jack Whitehall episode, but I watched Megadoc.
Oh yeah.
Which is the documentary that was made and shot during the filming of Francis Ford Coppola's mega flop, Megalopolis. Famously, the worst film. Well, not famously, but it is the worst film I've ever seen.
Oh, same here.
I said on the show. By a long mile. I'd be very surprised if it gets
awful.
It gets beaten. And if you don't, you can go and listen to our review where you can hear about that film. But if you don't know, Francis Ford Coppola liquidated over $100 million worth of his wine estate to self-fund a project that he has been working on for decades, and it was a huge disaster. It is one of the worst films ever. It had a huge cast of people like Adam Driver, Natalie Emmanuel, Giancarlo Esposito, Dustin Hoffman, John Voight, Shia LaBeouf, which I'll get onto. And I started seeing clips of this documentary online and the behind the scenes, and I was like, I'm actually really interested to see what the hell went on. And I really do recommend you watch this film. To be honest, even if you haven't seen the film, I think it's quite interesting to watch one of the all-time great auteurs sort of like struggle to wrangle this film. And when I watch it, I watched it on a plane.
Oh, nice.
I wanted something sort of like light, but interesting.
You definitely couldn't walk out.
You definitely couldn't leave. Couldn't walk out. Documentary.
That's what I mean. Like, you definitely like you're a captive audience. You're like, if I'm going to watch it, I'm going to have to watch it. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. And I actually really do recommend this documentary in that it gave me a lot of closure on my thoughts of exactly what happened with this film. Because if you watch it, it will be a question in your mind of like, what the hell happened? Like, there are good talented people who work on this.
Because it is so bad. It is an awful movie.
It was so bad, and like it's just like over the top and ridiculous and badly written and like badly lit. Like every part of it, honestly, was just so bad. And watching this film, you know, it's interesting. I'm watching Francis Ford Coppola in this film. He seems like a perfectly lovely guy, and I take no joy in watching this film fall apart from one of the great filmmakers of all time. There were just so many interesting takeaways. Firstly, like he's been sitting on this film for a really, really long time, and that within this was footage from an original cast read in Brooklyn in the in the early 2000s, with a completely different cast of other actors who were going to play this. So you saw Uma Thurman doing a read, James Gandolfini. You didn't see these people, but Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro, Russell Crowe were all attached at one point to play this film, and it's been known in the industry that this has been like a magnum opus opportunity from Francis Ford Coppola for years, but nobody wanted to make it. And then he was like, fine, I'll do it myself. And that's the film we eventually got. It starts off, watching the rehearsals where only a few members of the cast are there. It's like Natalie Emmanuel, Aubrey Plaza, Shia LaBeouf, John Voight's knocking around, no Adam Driver because he was working on another project. But you get these people like starting to workshop these things. And you can see the likes of like Shia LaBeouf already expressing himself and taking it straight to the top. And you've got, of course, incredibly talented people working on this film. You've got people who've just come from doing like props on Guardians of the Galaxy. You've got somebody who is, a gaffer on Star Wars. Like the industry's very best who are working here, all becoming slightly frustrated at the way in which Francis Ford Coppola wants to work, which is to not really have many meetings or discussions about it and to just figure it out like as we go, which when you're spending that much money is an incredibly expensive thing to do. Meanwhile, you've got statistics on the screen showing you the realities of what it costs to accommodate and feed that many people on a day at one time. It really puts it in context. It's like feed the accommodation, the food budget to keep this many people fed per day was like £160,000 a day per day on set. And then you accumulate that and it's like £16 million spent on food for this long of a delay. Meanwhile, Shia LaBeouf, bless him, is the only person in the cast who's like, no. What does this mean? What does this mean? And in a film that has no meaning, it just completely goes head to head with Shia LaBeouf and Francis Ford Coppola, and the meltdown on set of like, but I'm over here. And what do you mean? What do you say? And he's like questioning him, be like, but why would you do it that way? Meanwhile, John Voight is just like spaced out, being like, I don't know what they're talking about. I'm just going to stand and take point. And like, I'm sure Shia LaBeouf is not easy to work with, but like, bless him for being the only one who was like, if I'm going to do this, I don't do half measures. I have to understand what's going on. And Francis Ford Coppola, like, I don't take pride in saying this, just didn't know what was happening. I could go on, and there's a bunch of other interesting moments in there. And like the relationship the documentary maker has with different members of the cast is quite interesting. After a while, he gets a call from Natalie Emmanuel's agent, who's like, Natalie would prefer to not be filmed while she's working. Adam Driver very much keeps him at arm's length. This says, I really don't want you filming me. I don't like to be filmed, ironically. But offers to give him an interview later and talks about very sort of carefully the process and difference between what it's like working with FFC versus like other people. I just want to say it's fascinating. I recommend it. Gave me a lot. It's not too long. Gave me a lot of emotional closure. In a way, it's a little bit. I think the second half is very different because the nature of the documentary changes as the subject is revealed to be a disaster and not like some cute this is the auteur's version of how this amazing film was
when
made.
They realise it's bad.
No matter how bad it got, it was like, it's not worse than Apocalypse Now, which is famously like one of the most troubled productions ever. With like you had Marlon Brando, you had the jungle, you had people being drunk and hungover, like all of the issues you can look into. So like his excuse was like, it's been like this before. Every film is hard. This will be fine, but it wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
So I just want to recommend it and shout that out to people. It's a really, really great watch.
Guys, this is just a reminder that we have been nominated for the ITV bCreator Awards 2026 in the podcast creator category. We couldn't have done this without your support. It's the first award we've ever been nominated for, but we need your help in helping us win the award, because you can vote now via the link in the description and our link in bio. It would mean so much to us.
This is a massive deal for us. Like, it's so cool that we're nominated, and if we could maybe get close to winning, we would just be so thankful. Everything we've ever done and being in this position is because you guys listen to the show, follow us on social media, and tell people about us. So it really would mean the world to us if you all activated like sleeper Pulp Kitchen agents and went to go and vote and tell your friends. We're so happy. It's often called the Oscars of the social media world.
It is the Oscars of the creators world.
So, we would really love to make as big a splash as possible. We're going to keep reminding you, but go and sign up, go and vote for us, and it would genuinely mean the world.
And also, just think how nice it'll be for you when you tell people what podcast you listen to, and they say, "Oh, what's Pulp Kitchen?" You go, "You Pulp Kitchen." Well, they've just won the podcast creator of the year. So please, if you can vote that'd be so helpful. Voting closes on the 31st of August, but we need as many votes as we can. So if you can do that would be amazing. Thank you.
Right. But should we talk about
Let's talk about some good movies. Let's talk about Matt Damon's career ahead of the Odyssey, and let's give it.
We really like Matt Damon. Like we generally, like we say, we're really positive about him. Like even off screen, out when he's doing promo, I'm like, you're a great storyteller. You seem like a really sincere, nice guy. He's someone who seems really excited by films.
He's a great raconteur. He tells stories really well about his experiences on set. The stories that he tells about Tom Cruise,
like excitable, like working with Jack Nicholson.
The Departed. That's a great story.
It was me, Scorsese, and Jack.
We were there and we were listening.
I wouldn't be a good actor if I wasn't a good fucking writer. Great.
And you could cut there. That's the story.
You could cut there. It's a great story. Look, talk about search Matt Damon on Jack Nicholson on The Departed. It's great.
Also in the Odyssey is Anne Hathaway, who we also did a actor breakdown a few months ago now, going through her career as well. But Matt Damon is the lead of the Odyssey, and he has had an illustrious career. So let's go through the movies of Mr. Matt Damon.
So he's got loads of films. We're not going to do deep chats on all of them. We're going to cover some of them, but he has been very, very busy in lots of great things over a long number of years.
Good for him.
He's knocking around in lots of supporting roles in his early.
Never won an Oscar.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's been nominated.
Seeing Odyssey is his time.
Was he nominated? Let's have a look.
Is he not nominated?
I don't know if he...
Well, it'd be an interesting conversation actually to run through and be like, what should he have been nominated for? Because we all agree he's a great actor, but has he had the role?
I'm just getting this ready for you. Academy Awards. He obviously he won the screenwriting award for Good Will Hunting.
Sorry,
but I'm looking for. He's only been nominated for. Okay, I was going to tell you now.
Please.
He's been nominated for Best Actor for Good Will Hunting, Best Supporting Actor for Invictus. He was nominated for a Best Actor Oscar for The Martian. Not that he's bad at it, but okay.
Yeah.
Just that
Strange.
film.
Yeah. And Invictus, to be honest, I'm a little bit like, I guess.
And he was also a producer on Manchester by the Sea, so he was nominated as for the Best Picture Award for that one. But anyway, so no, he has not won an acting Oscar.
So he knocks around in films like School Ties in 1992, which I've not seen.
Well, that has a young Brendan Fraser in as well, like a lot of the young crop of people.
But the first thing I think that he's been in the year that I know, and it's one of his most famous films, in 1997, is Good Will Hunting with his close friend, Ben Affleck.
I am... What? I'm so sorry. I feel like I just thought I heard someone in. I thought I heard.
I think there's a door loose.
Thank you.
That
we have to leave.
Good Will Hunting.
Good Will Hunting is a film I have only seen once. I'm desperate to rewatch because I get a lot of clips pushed to me on YouTube. It's always the same clips of him with Robin Williams talking to him about when he met his wife and the ending of the movie. But it's a great film, and it's directed by Gus Van Sant, by the way. He's a really good director, made a lot of great films. And I think he's so... Not just the script is great, but obviously Matt Damon takes the lead role, and he is so magnetic in that. And obviously he launched the careers of both him and Ben Affleck, but like he gets that for like frustration and anger. You sense the anger in Will, but also just charming, and the whole chemistry with Minnie Driver. Yeah, great.
I mean, like the story of the film's really great in that like they weren't getting the roles they wanted, and they were like, well, let's just write a film and like insist that we're in it. And I think when you watch it back, you can really sense this like electric impatience from both of them, and like how much they really want to make it, and they've just made something which is brilliant. Yeah. And I think you could see that resonating. You see photos of them getting their awards. You sort of like see how wide-eyed they are about to like go on to have these amazing careers. And they're both. It's amazingly written. It's got great performances, and Robin Williams like the perfect casting in it.
Who did win an Oscar for that film? Yeah,
he did win an Oscar. And you just look at that and you're going like, there's an electric energy of like people who are fresh and want to like inject Hollywood with something really fresh and original. And it's a real like classic.
And they became the poster child of like, oh, you can make it in this industry. You can be an outsider. Like, there's a reference in Friends where Ross is like, you could be like those Good Will Hunting guys. You could do that. And it's like, they became the thing of like these two nobodies made it big. Anyway,
next up, Saving Private Ryan in 1998.
So this is funny. I can't remember if I mentioned this when we talked about Saving Private Ryan with Zohair with the Spielberg episode, but Spielberg cast him because he was an unknown. Yeah, that was the whole point. You're not meant to know who Private Ryan is, and that it's so funny that obviously they cast him, and then in the time that they were making it, Good Will Hunting blew up, which was great for marketing them for movie because they could put him on the poster. But like, I remember when I showed,
he's like a hot young actor.
I remember when I showed Saving Private Ryan to Anna for the first time. She had no real sort of perception of it, and she was like, "Well, I know Matt Damon's got to turn up at some point, so I know they're going to find Private Ryan."
You're not supposed to know that. Like weirdly in my mind. I know the years, but I'm like surprised that Saving Private Ryan is so early in Matt Damon's career. I would put it like, I don't know, like mentally like a few films later here, but actually it totally makes sense. But working with Spielberg out the gate after Good Will Hunting.
And in a movie of great moments, spectacular moments, I like that I can still remember Matt Damon's moments in it, and like he has that great bit where there's the quiet before the big battle at the end, where like he's telling that really funny story about his brothers on the farm, and he's like, he's like, oh, I was chasing her down, man. He's like laughing, and then like he finishes the story, and then he realizes that like then they went to war, and now all of his brothers are dead. Yeah, and it's like it's great. He's great stuff.
Spielberg at his best, high impact film, all time classic. Next up, I think one of our favorite films of Matt Damon's career is The Talented Mr. Ripley in 1999. I mean, what a run to go from Good Will Hunting, Saving Private Ryan into Talented Mr. Ripley. Like, no wonder he became a huge star. And I think after that, you would have said, but here's what Matt Damon can really do.
Yeah, and many. So that's the first lead role he's given then. Have you missed anything out there when you put this together?
No.
So that's basically the first lead role he was given after Good Will Hunting. Yeah. Another Miramax. I think Good Will Hunting was a Miramax film. This would have been another Miramax film. And I mean, we love The Talented Mr. Ripley. We've talked about it so many times. It's
one
fantastic.
of our favorite films.
It's fantastic. Anthony Minghella did such an amazing work with that. Yeah,
I've seen it like 4 or 5 times. And I still go back and I go, yes, I love this film. I know I've not been sick of it in a while.
Stunning, gorgeous, and Matt Damon. I mean, we talked about it recently when we did the Hey episode about literary adaptations, but Matt Damon talks, again, great storyteller, about how he actually didn't spend a lot of time with the cast in that movie. It was quite a hard shoot. Obviously, they're shooting on location, all these wonderful places. They were doing 14-hour days. And Matt Damon
looked terrible initially.
But like that's grueling. And then Matt Damon would basically, he was staying in a separate hotel because that was the only place you could stay that had a gym. And what he would do is that at the end of a 14-hour shoot every day, he would go to the gym and he would like run 6 miles because he needed to keep trim, because the whole point of The Talented Mr. Ripley is that he needs to look vaguely, plausibly similar to Jude Law,
who's a lot smaller. Matt Damon, like, he looks really lean. He's the leanest he looks in any film, and he's not an overweight guy, but he definitely carries naturally. I think sits a bit heavier than Jude Law. And it's just great. It's just like the dedication of that movie and the like Patricia Highsmith novels, like the layers and layers as it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. It's just it sucks you in.
And it's my favourite type of Matt Damon, which is evil Matt Damon, which is, although actually, sorry, that's a bit of a disservice to his characterisation there, because actually his depiction of Tom Ripley is so fascinating. And
nasty.
It's nasty, but you do feel sympathy for him. He's incredibly tortured. The thing about the Minghella version is that he really plays up the homoeroticism and tortured closet homosexuality within Tom Ripley. Yeah. And there's a bit where about 2/3 into the movie, it's when he's in Venice, he's talking to the character of Peter about how, like,
basically opening up about how tortured he felt, and he was like, "Oh, you try and get yourself out of that room, and you suddenly feel so much better." And you do feel this struggle that this character's having, even though he's so nasty and builds that horrible ending. But yeah, evil Matt Damon, then the Departed, Interstellar. I love The Last Duel.
Yeah.
So
he's
Matt Damon, he's
versatile. Like you can throw him in basically everything, and he works really well. So these next two films, I kind of feel like birthed not just him being a great actor, which he's already done, but sort of like into that glitz, glam, celebrity, now I have a franchise thing. So the first one in 2001 is Ocean's 11, which is obviously a big ensemble cast.
Huge movie.
But it's like peak naughty, Soderbergh, Clooney knocking around, like it's sexy and it's Brad Pitt. It's the birth of this next generation of big celebrities of that era.
And I think we've talked about this on the show before, but again, if you weren't alive at the time, you just don't understand how massive Ocean's 11 was as a movie in the zeitgeist. Like, it was the coolest movie that year.
Cool suits, cool outfits, cool shot, cool setting, cool location. Like, Vegas was still cool back then.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
It was like wow.
Even as a 6 or 7 year old at the time,
it really imprinted on me.
I remember Ocean's 11 being the cool movie. It was the grown-up movie.
This gang of like cool actors who are all like sort of at the peak of their looks, their powers. Like, they're all going on to do brilliant things.
It was like an Avengers assemble of the Hollywood's elites at that time. You know, you had Brad Pitt, George Clooney, Matt Damon thrown in there.
It's so pre-2008 excess and like just do it, go, make it. And then crucially in 2002, The Bourne Identity, which is obviously a massive part, Jason Bourne. The story that everyone talks about The Bourne Identity is that James Bond had kind of gone very silly, had really dropped the ball, whether it was CGI, silly gadgets, bad writing, all of it. And The Bourne Identity was just such an antithesis to it, and absolutely had a massive impact on Casino Royale and all of Daniel Craig's Bond films. You know, there was nothing glamorous about it. He wasn't wearing cool outfits. He wasn't wearing cool clothes. He's in a shitty car in an unromantic part of the world in Eastern Europe. He's being chased down. He's not. There's nothing like particularly heroic about it.
Is he in France? I thought he's in Paris.
All over.
That's romantic.
He's in somewhere cold. He is in Paris a bit, but he's somewhere. It's not like shot in a way that makes him look cool. It's
he's in the back roads.
On the back roads, like underground, and specifically like the way in which the combat worked and how he would fight people. It was frenetic and shaky, and just like injected that genre of spy espionage thriller with a whole new lease of life. And the influence of The Bourne Identity, I think. You can see all of it. Even in like John Wick, which is much sexier and snazzier, I think you could 100% owe it a debt to Jason Bourne.
Yeah, and I think, so the movie was meant to come out like just before 9/11. They delayed it by a year, and I think they were nervous whether audiences would go for a much more cynical, grounded thing. But actually, maybe that was the appetite in the sort of War on Terror era for a more grounded thing. Doug Liman directed the first one. Then I think it was, to give credit to Paul Greengrass, who then took over with the subsequent ones, he was the one who also really amped up the shaky cam. The shaky cam, as it was called, the combat style. But I think as a result, people, I think, sleep on The Bourne Identity a little bit because they like to go, oh, it was Paul Greengrass who made the franchise what it was. But
I think 2 is the one that's I can't remember much about. I think I rember 3 being great.
Yeah, 3's great.
I think it's 1 and 3 and 2. I'm like, I guess I can't remember.
Was it when he's saying in the third one when he's like, well, we can come talk in your office. You're not in your office. Why not? Because then we've been having this conversation face to face.
Yeah. So good. Yeah. So good. Just like the shot of like him looking through a scope, eyeing up some corporate shill for some like shadow agency. It was just grounded, and it felt like, oh yeah, this is how like a modern espionage works. It was just great.
We talked about sort of perfect trilogies a lot recently, like the Toy Story stuff. I'm like, actually, does the original Bourne trilogy hold up?
I'd have to go back and look, but I don't know if it's a bit of like a DVD dad takes. Be like, oh yeah, those Bourne films. They were so, why don't you make some more of those?
But I do think they were really good.
Yeah.
They were really impressive, but I want to, for what they are, do they hold up as a consistent good trilogy?
I should do a Bourne trilogy binge my Bournes. Next up, that's the first sort of black mark on Matt Damon's career. Stuck on You in 2003.
This is so funny. Yeah,
I've not thought about that film in a long time.
With Greg Kinnear, where he couldn't make it now because they play Siamese twins who are conjoined twins. Sorry, is that the phrase? And but it's a comedy.
And it's because they fall in love with the same girl, but the gag is that they're stuck on each other. And then
I can get the elevator pitch and the song. Right, so listen to this.
So
right?
2003, that and Shallow Hal was pitched at the same time, and it's like yeah. And there's a scene I remember.
2003 as well.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's so of the era. So Shallow Hal's like, oh yeah, she's fat, but she's actually thin, and like
that's okay.
And that's okay. And this one, like, there's a bit where like they're on a bus, and like one of them is stuck on the outside of the bus through the doors because they're not like they're conjoined, but they're. Oh god, yeah. It's ridiculous and silly would not be made now, and it's a great time capsule of how people thought about making movies back then.
Yeah, for sure. And then Born Supremacy in 2004, which we've covered, he comes back
Sirens
with.
on our End.
Sirens on our End. And then Team America happens around about that time.
Yes.
And he unfairly gets the Matt Damon
Yeah.
thing, which is, I think still follows him to this day. But I just said to you, I was like, he wasn't known as being stupid.
No.
So I don't know why Trey Parker and Matt Stone were like, we'll just get him with that. But
Yeah.
it really had staying power.
Yeah, it did. I think he tells the story of filming the Adjustment Bureau in New York. He's trying to do this sort of dramatic scene, and you could hear in the background someone going, Matt Damon!
I'm sure.
Poor guy.
And then also in 2004, Ocean's 12. So you've got like two franchises knocking around.
My memory is Ocean's 11, amazing. Ocean's 12, rubbish. Ocean's 13, mid.
Yeah,
fine.
I thought Ocean's 13 was fine. Yeah,
Yeah, fine. Al
entertaining,
Pacino's in it, but Ocean's
Yeah,
12. Do you remember Ocean's 12 has that really,
remember nothing about
really?
it.
It basically the whole movie feels like they have no idea why they're making this movie other than
Yeah.
it's a sequel. It looks gorgeous, obviously, but that has that really weird scene where they do this whole meta gag about Julia Roberts' character looking like Julia Roberts.
Oh yeah, I've told you. I remember you talking about this. It's such a bad idea.
It's such a bad idea.
Yeah.
And I remember watching it thinking, oh no. And they have this thing where Bruce Willis comes in to speak to Julia Roberts, but it's not Julia Roberts because obviously in this universe, Julia Roberts is actually a character. And basically,
Yeah, oh my God, I do
It doesn't.
remember
It doesn't hold your brain the entire time. It's like the ending of Tenet, trying to
yeah.
work out the action
It's
scene.
a bit of a like smug gag to pull. Like I find that's rubbish.
Yeah, rubbish.
2005, The Brothers Grimm.
Yeah, so I watched this on a plane to New York. The first time I ever flew sort of transatlantic, and the first time I ever had video on demand on the plane,
Oh, that's
blew my
nice.
mind. And I thought, I'm not going to waste my time. I'm going to watch Terry Gilliam's The Brothers Grimm with Heath Ledger in it.
Yeah, Heath Ledger.
Strange movie, very weird. But around about that time, I was really into like folk tales and sort of like witchy warlock, don't go into the woods kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So that was right up my street back
Nice.
then.
Yeah, I think I've maybe
Gothic
seen a bit of
kind
it
of
on telly
original
back
goth.
in the
I wasn't
day.
a goth, but I meant like I was into the original gothic story. I was into
worry.
vampires and werewolves. Don't worry, George. I never thought you were a goth.
A wonderful correction back on form in 2006 with The Departed. I think one of my
Yeah.
favorite films. It's
Yeah.
brilliant. Just the incredible cast, all doing incredible work.
Yes, and great. Yeah, great. He now gets to work with Scorsese. Then, an amazing movie. We could talk about it at length. All the amazing decisions and things that are happening.
Nicholson just chewing
Great.
scenery.
But-
Leonardo DiCaprio doing great work. Peak of his powers.
And you know, going back to what I said earlier, Matt Damon's horrible in it. He's
Yeah.
a really horrible, nasty piece of work. And even when he's like at the beginning, he's on a date with Vera Farmiga. He's just like, he's so kind of cringe and awful. He's like, oh, look at this dessert. I don't know whether to do it or pull my gun out and shoot it. And it's like, I don't like you. It's something I really don't like you.
Yeah, like it's like switch to violence and like a nasty thought.
Yeah, great. I mean, Martin Sheen, Alec Baldwin, Mark Wahlberg, a stacked cast doing great work.
I'm your best fucking friend.
Yeah. Who put the cameras in this place?
Yeah. 2006, I've not seen it. The Good Shepherd.
Not seen it. That's the Robert Redford movie, I believe.
Sounds about
Not
right.
seen it.
Comes back in 2007 for Ocean's 13,
Yeah,
which we've
fine. Al
covered.
Pacino,
Also in 2007, The Bourne Ultimatum, which is doing two-third parts of his franchises in that.
I remember that getting a huge splash. That's the one that had the Ultimatum's the one with Paddy Considine in Waterloo Station at the beginning, isn't it?
Yeah.
Which is a great scene, and
That's
the way
when
they
he
filmed
jumps
that.
from like, and not in London, he jumps from like the window into,
Yes,
the other,
into
like
another
a famous
window.
shot, which loads of other films have copied,
Yes,
by the way.
yeah.
Like you jump from window into slightly lower window and you bash through like the doors.
I think sometimes what probably maybe affects the Bourne's
legacy, not to be confused with the Bourne legacy, is the thank you.
We know our stuff.
Yeah, is how grey and grainy they are, and I think sometimes to like go back and watch it, it's that very cold digital filmmaking from the noughties.
Yes,
that's a little bit. You just want to up the saturation a bit.
Well, in a lot of ways, I guess not saturating it and keeping it more true to life might actually make it age better than something that's like overly stylized. Typically, sometimes I'm like, if you've done less to it, it's a bit more timeless.
But do you not think it looks
doesn't
a little,
make it for an inviting watch? Though.
That's what I mean. I look at it and I think it's not like. Compare it to 10 years later with the kind of the John Wick movies we'd get. Like you mentioned earlier, John Wick dialed back in the neon, dialed back in the color, made it a bit more, kind of fun. But this was going for the grounded stuff. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I
guess that was part of its charm. It's like it feels real life. Like we're going to film Waterloo Station, busy, and
they really did. They didn't
stress journalists and bags and shitty jackets.
And when they filmed in Waterloo, I think they said they only had like one chance to do it, and they like pretended something else was happening down the other end. Because all the people knew there was filming happening. So they rushed everyone down to one end, and then they were able to film what they needed to.
Matt, go now. Go now. Love that. Blah blah blah. The Informant in 2009.
Not seen it, but another Soderbergh movie. He loves Soderbergh. They work together a lot.
Also in 2009.
Who directed all the Ocean's movies?
Kind of like somewhat random. Invictus.
Invictus.
I'm playing a rugby player, my bro.
I watched that at school. It's a very school movie. And now we put on the movie. Yeah,
History.
Nelson Mandela.
Morgan Freeman famously.
I don't follow rugby.
Neither.
I'm not really a rugby person, but I do remember watching the movie being like, I am the captain of my soul. Yeah.
It's not a bad film.
It's not a bad film.
It's like, I guess Matt Damon is doing this film. That's fine.
Yeah.
It sticks out slightly for me. I don't know why.
Playing what was the rugby captain's name?
Oh, okay. I don't know.
It's not. I was just
no idea.
It's not Vickers. That's District 9.
I think on
it's
that.
Martin. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, Clint Eastwood movie, quite an earnest movie.
Yes, Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood doing the kind of very earnest, but not terrible. But no one talks about that movie now.
This is a film I've seen, but can't remember much about. Green Zone in 2010.
That is a non-Bourne but Paul Greengrass and Jason Bourne, Matt Damon overlap. Yeah, not seen it. Very much kind of like, I associate that in Body of Lies. It's like a war on terror movie.
Locker-esque, Body of Lies.
It's a war on terror movie that I think by that point people kind of fatigued by.
We've been 5 or 6 years after it, and now we're making films about it type of era. Yeah.
We're fatigued with the kind of, we must get out of here. They're going to do it. I think Jason Isaacs is in that movie as well.
Too right. True Grit in 2010. I've not seen.
Only saw it once. Was a bit. It was massively hyped that year. True Grit. It was a Coen Brothers movie, a remake of a 1960s classic with John Wayne in it. The movie that launched Haley Steinfeld. Famously, he was a great performer. It was.
That's why I've not gone back.
It was hyped up a lot, and then you go and watch it, and it's got a lot of the Coen Brothers sort of curiosities in it, and I didn't think it sort of gelled well. I think they were very close to the text. They had a lot of affinity for it, and as someone who had never seen a True Grit, I was like, it's okay. There's just, all I remember actually is that for some reason at school, we quoted that movie a lot. Just one specific bit where like, he's called LaBeef in it, and then they think he's going to turn up at one point, and he doesn't, and somebody else turns up, and Jeff Bridges goes, "You're not LaBeef." And that became, for some reason at school, we just said it all the time. No logic.
No why.
No why. You're not LaBeef. Yeah. So I have nothing more to say on True Grit.
True Grit's a very masculine name for a film. True Grit.
True Grit.
It's like same as Die Hard.
But that's the thing. I think it could have been grittier. It was actually kind of like, it was a lot of like horse trotting and a lot of, well, this guy's a bit strange.
Yeah. Lovely.
Anyway.
Again, a film I've seen, but really don't remember at all. The Adjustment Bureau in 2011.
So these are the movies that came out in the post-Inception sci-fi bubble that did really well. So the other one is Source Code, which...
Source Code's really solid.
Yeah, Source Code's solid, but they all were given the grey background and red font to imitate Inception. I haven't seen...
Oh, by the way, sorry, just on font... Have you noticed that the new Andrew Scott, Brendan Fraser weather movie that's coming out called Pressure
looks like Dunkirk
has the exact same font and you know on the Nolan films they do a film by and smaller and then the thing they've done the exact same thing to like for people who don't know to be like maybe it's a Dunkirk
it looks like
Nolan
a Dunkirk
film.
Yeah,
it's not. Sorry,
it's a weather movie.
Yeah, it's a weather movie.
The Adjustment Bureau I haven't seen, but I would really like to.
Yeah.
I like
I
we're getting now.
things. I just don't remember it at all.
No, but you know, like I said recently, that like now we're getting science fiction stories that are really bubbling through. I think people are really resonating with it. We had it a little bit in the early 2010s, and it was very so many things for that film of the era. Everyone was wearing trilbies. That's the film where everyone wears trilbies.
Right.
Like that's the thing about the Adjustment Bureau. John Slattery from Mad Men is in it.
Yeah.
And there's the story. Have you seen Matt Damon telling the story about how Pedro Pascal is in that movie as a maitre d'?
Yes, yeah.
And he only has like one line, and they were like, "That guy was really fucking good."
Yeah.
Between takes, like, that guy was really good. Great movie. Sorry, haven't seen the movie. Want to? Great story.
Funny thing about as I'm famously rewatching all of Game of Thrones, watching it all now, I've got to the bit where Pedro Pascal comes in.
Oh, yeah.
And it's amazing how of all of the cast of Game of Thrones, some of them you haven't really seen at all. Other members of the cast you've seen pop up in other things. But it's weird that Pedro is the breakout star to an enormous extent, especially the last few years, where he's in every movie.
It goes back to my Joseph Quinn Stranger Things theory, which is that like if you're just in a kind of one and done season, you're not contractually tied.
Yeah,
you
get to go and do more
you
stuff.
get to ride the wave of the popularity of that
And
show.
the imprint of your character doesn't stain too hard.
No.
Yeah.
You penetrate, you have a really good run, and then you can go off, whereas everyone else has to carry on with the burden of the show.
There's a very good first scene in season 4 of Game of Thrones, like where he introduces who he is. It's very good
to Tyrion.
Tyrion goes to meet him, but he's already in the brothel in King's Landing, and then he's doing these things with the. It's constantly prostitutes in Game of Thrones. It never ends. Every time I tell his stories, yes, and it's in the brothel,
Yes, and there are tits.
and they have this conversation in a brothel for reasons. Also in 2011, curious film, Contagion.
Well,
So
not seen
ensemble
it.
cast. Oh right, yeah, it's solid. I think there's been enough distance from COVID that you could maybe enjoy it now.
for a long time during COVID, it was like one of the most streamed movies.
A very long time. It was the most streamed, top of the Apple Music, Apple video charts. It was, I think, like it was on Netflix. It was on the front page. I thought it was very strange. It's okay. It has this. It's like a Valentine's Day, but for a pandemic. So you follow lots of different stories. And Matt Damon's wife is one of the first patients, and it's there. It's got Lawrence Fishburne. It's very drab. Has a slightly sickly hue to it in the sense that like this virus is spreading, but it's credited by lots of people who know to be quite a realistic. Is that your bell?
Yes.
Quite a realistic. Go for your bell. I'll keep speaking. To have quite like a realistic interpretation of what actually happens when a breakout happens. What do you do when you contain a patient? What's the likely impact that this has, and how diseases spread? I never fancied watching it when COVID was happening. I was like, that's all right. I'm living the real thing. What are we doing? What's going on? What's going on, George? I basically say I was quite happy.
Stalling there from James.
Let
me explain something because I don't think she'll see this. One of my fiance's bridesmaids has sent her some flowers, but they're coming to the flat today, and I needed to intercept them. Anyway, that was them arriving. I believe.
Pre-wedding. I basically said I did not have the appetite to watch a pandemic movie whilst I was living the pandemic. I was living the truth.
I don't. Almost every chance now, I think I'm never going to watch it because now I'm like, well, it'll just remind me of COVID. During COVID, I was like, I'm living it.
I watched that in a bath.
What, just years ago?
When it came on digital.
So like pre-COVID though?
Years before COVID.
Okay.
They'll call it 2013.
But that's another collaboration with Steven Soderbergh. Clearly, they get on really well. Again, Steven Soderbergh kind of really was the kind of king of the drab digital look. The lo-fi
Unsane.
digital look.
Which Matt Damon is also in. For one scene. Blah, blah, blah. We got, in 2011, all two, We Bought a Zoo.
Yeah, I've not seen it, but Anna loves it.
Oh, great.
She's like, oh, it's a lovely movie.
Is it Sheep Detectives?
I don't know if it's meant to be that good, but I always thought like it looked the most schmaltzy.
I remember seeing it and I was like, it looks like a parody film that could have been made as a joke.
An SNL skit.
An SNL skit. Or something like just something from Tropic Thunder of like Matt Damon in We Bought a Zoo. I remember seeing it, I was like, sure, Matt Damon.
Yeah,
I guess you are buying a zoo.
And of course, Scarlett Johansson plays the love interest. And
I don't
obviously,
want to slag it off. I've not seen it.
No, me neither. It's a Cameron Crowe movie, and Cameron Crowe did Jerry Maguire and Say Anything, things like that. So it's kind of the same sort of romantic kind of schmaltzy.
Yeah.
You know what it is I think the films like We Bought a Zoo, that is actually quite an end of an era thing because I think that's coasting on the kind of 90s movie premise. I
think within a few years, movies like We Bought a Zoo, and now those are direct to streaming movies. You get
sure.
It's a concept. It's kind of
even with Matt
folksy
Damon in
Universal. Yeah, I think that is. That's got a streaming movie written all over it. It's a middle ground movie. You wouldn't get that now. Yeah.
Next up, in 2013, I've not seen it, Behind the Candelabra.
Yeah, so this is the movie, again, a Steven Soderbergh movie. They clearly
say,
done
so
very
before
well.
you go, he is regularly, for the last few years, putting out 2 films a year.
My God,
Almost
what
every
an
year.
output. So this is another Steven Soderbergh TV movie. Well, actually, this is an interesting story. Steven Soderbergh movie about Liberace, who outside of the US, I was sort of loosely aware of, but in the US was a huge pop cultural figure in the second half of the 20th century. He was famous for playing, he was a very gifted pianist and singer, and very gaudy and sort of bedazzled and demantade and like sort of associated with Las Vegas kind of thing. And this is the true story of his assistant / lover, who their relationship, and that involved him becoming sort of sucked into Liberace's circle, undergoing extensive plastic surgery. There's a very funny scene where basically Liberace, who's played by really well played by Michael Douglas, by the way. They sit down with Rob Lowe. Rob Lowe plays this plastic surgeon. They've like pulled his like eyes, like, you know, back, and he can barely move his face. And they're like, you need to get plastic surgery to fit in with Liberace's brand. Okay. By the way, Liberace is also the most flamboyant, over the top cat person who people couldn't believe until he died that he was gay.
Right.
Anyway, and so this relationship they had was in secret. Matt Damon is very good in it. The interesting story is that even in 2013, studios were reluctant to release this as a proper movie, so it only got released as a TV movie on HBO.
Wow.
Whereas the rest of the world, including the UK, put it out as an actual movie, which is just, you know, that's not that long ago, 2013. But even their studios were like, gay movie.
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. Which is a shame. But it is actually a good movie if you get a chance to see it.
Also in 2013, 2 films a year, Elysium.
So this is the Neil
Follow-up
Blomkamp.
from Neil
follow-up.
Blomkamp's District 9, which is 2009 or 2010.
2009, yeah.
And it comes back with Elysium. There's a lot of hype, I remember, in my like teenage circle for Elysium, because everyone loved District 9. That was a cool movie.
Yeah, it was cool.
It was a cool movie to like.
Yeah, cool movie.
And Elysium, not quite as good. This idea that all of the rich live in this sort of like bougie ISS that orbits around Earth, where they have this technology that can cure any cancer, solve any illness. Meanwhile, the population on Earth has ballooned to like 50 billion or something, and everyone lives in poverty. And it's sort of Eat the Rich action movie, isn't it? And he's famously got an exoskeleton.
Yeah, it looks a bit like a Call of Duty Advanced Warfare character.
Terminator Salvation class of like grey, muddy style.
Neil Blomkamp, I mean, it really is just District 9.
Yeah. Where's he been?
Anyway.
In 2014, The Monuments Men.
Yeah, this was
Back
another
with
like
Clooney.
Oscar baity movie that I didn't see, but what everyone told me about it, and tell me if I'm right about this, but could be summed up by the poster, which is, if you look at the poster, it's like, is that a comedy or is it a drama? And if you look at the expressions of all the people on the poster, it's kind of like, well, they're sort of quizzical.
What about this war?
I heard it was actually, because that's a George Clooney directed movie, I believe.
Yeah, it is.
And thoughts on it?
Yeah, it's fine. It's nothing special, but I don't think you'd have a bad time watching it. It's like an Ocean's Heist, but in World War II.
But with that premise and with that talent involved, Clooney, Damon, Kate Blanchett's in it. You had Jean Dujardin straight off of The Artist. Hugh Bonneville. John Goodman, Bob Balaban.
Well remembered on the cast there.
Thank you. You know me, James. It's just in there somewhere. I've not seen the movie.
I
I can tell you the cast. I've heard it's really underwhelming.
I don't think it's that bad.
Really?
I think it's fine. I think if you had watched, I think it was on, you'd go like, oh, and you'd end up watching it.
Don't you think it should have been better with those ingredients?
Yeah.
All right.
And then famously, I think it's fine to say now, also in 2014, he was in Interstellar.
Cameo in that. And again, evil Matt Damon.
Yeah.
Oh, great. Uses his screen time very well.
I think
Man.
really great role for Matt Damon. Great surprise ending and surprise exit for that character. He
Surprise entrance and exit.
Entrance and exit. Like he enters as a surprise. Oh, it's Matt Damon, and it kind of works that it's Matt Damon because they big up this like, oh, Dr. Man was the best of us. He does all this, and he ends in a really unremarkable and sudden way. And the film is just like, we're moving on. We've got to go into one of the best sequences.
Yeah.
Like, it's done. The
It's
story
necessary.
progressing. It's necessary, and the portrayal and. It's just great. They're lovely little
I hope you see your kids, Cooper.
Yeah.
I hope you see your children.
Can you see it? Yeah.
Dr. Man's got crazy.
All the breathing and the little oxygen chip.
Dun, 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 dun,
Meanwhile, Casey Affleck's
angry for some reason. Meanwhile, Casey Affleck's really angry.
That's the one. There's a big flaw instead. I'm like, why are you so angry? It's not
I think he's
clear.
just pissed at living on Earth.
It's clear there's a bit that was cut.
Yeah.
That like would have given it more clarity, and I understand why. Like because you're balancing two different sequences happening at different times. It's sort of
Fun to watch though.
Yeah, it still worked. 2015, big central role for Matt Damon in The Martian.
Yeah, and a bit like
Ridley Scott.
In the same way that Project Hail Mary has done great work for Ryan Gosling in showing his lighter side. Same with Matt Damon. Perfect casting. Happened to coincide very well with the Interstellar casting the year before.
Yes, another man stuck somewhere in space.
Great. I think he's really fun in that movie. I'm due a rewatch The Martian. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I've said this before. The only thing I don't like about it is how much levity there is. Just sometimes I'm like, you are a man stranded on Mars making potatoes
I think
out of your own
that's
shit.
their pot. That's their point is that it should be more catastrophic, but we're just gonna like keep making gags, and it's about humans persevering and getting it done.
That undermines it for me.
Yeah, it undermines. You maybe wanted a bit more of the sort of stakes in the sense of threat.
Despair.
I also just never bought in the end when he like punctures his hand and uses it like Iron Man to fly. I'm like, doesn't that just decompress your entire spacesuit and kill you for a film that's so like well across the science? I was like, that surely is. You would have a frostbitten.
Or you sucked out through your glove or something.
Sucked out through your glove. I never understood that. He comes back in 2016 with Reboot Jason Bourne, which I've seen.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah, no, very forgettable.
But
very
why?
forgettable.
Why did they do that?
Matt Damon, I was in an interview, was like, everywhere I go, people would say, why don't you make more of those Jason Bourne movies? And so he did. And I'm sure there was a fat check in it for him. I reckon I only got 20 mil to do that movie.
Instead of being a new conversation starter, that's a conversation ender. Everyone went, oh yeah.
Yeah.
The best thing to come out of it was the Jesus Christ, it's Jason
Bourne.
Bourne.
Yeah. Great memes. And probably a big black mark on Matt Damon's career, The Great Wall in 2016.
Yeah,
Is it with Pedro Pascal?
With Pedro Pascal, Chinese funded movie. I believe.
Not seen it.
That was a huge flop.
Mega flop. I think one of the biggest flops.
And he famously turned down playing Casey Affleck's role in Manchester by the Sea, which he produced, to end up playing in The Great Wall instead, which I'm sure he got probably paid more for The Great Wall.
Could have got an Oscar.
Could have got an Oscar. I mean, Casey Affleck did very, very well in that, but like...
Oh yeah, he got paid more than Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea.
So he could make 10 Manchester by the Seas with the money he got paid.
There'll be more Manchester by the Seas. I'm going to take this.
But yeah, they're sort of like European mercenaries who turn up in China, and it turns out the Great Wall is actually guarding monsters
on the other side. Yeah. Great. In 2017, Downsizing.
Again, I've been not wanting to see it, but I've heard people say that it takes a giant left turn at some point.
It's a real slog of a film, and we get quite a lot of like We Shrunk Someone Down movies these days, don't we? Like there's the Matthew McFadyen series. Is that a series or a movie?
Series,
yeah. Interesting concept. I think it doesn't really hold.
The whole idea is that in order to like stop draining the world's resources, you can shrink everyone down.
And if you have $100,000, that's like 70 million in the downsize world because everything's shrunken.
Yeah, and it's got quite a good cast. I think Jason Sudeikis is in that. It's Alexander Payne movie, and this was like his flop, and he went away, and then he came back and made the holdovers, and everyone was like, "Thank you."
He turns up as a cameo in Unsane, one of Claire Foy's worst films. Baffling.
Claire Foy good. She's good.
She's great, but it's easily her worst film.
And it's a Steven Soderbergh movie.
Yeah, Steven Soderbergh. Remember, we actually went to our first ever advanced screening years ago, and I was just working in television.
Yeah.
Pre-Pulp Kitchen, as this came through. It was like, does anyone want to go and see Unsane, starring Claire Foy? And
all shot on an iPhone.
All shot on an iPhone. It's about a stalker. Anyway, Matt Damon's distractingly in one scene. Throws me out of it.
The whole thing is like shot on an iPhone. It's really lo-fi. Claire Foy is the only recognisable face in it, and
she's basically just started doing The Crown at that point.
Yeah, and her character is accidentally institutionalised, like against her will.
Yeah.
So obviously it's very hard to get people to believe her that she's actually sane. And then it cuts back and then just suddenly like Matt Damon's like this private investigator. He's like, yeah, you need to change your locks. You do that, and I'm like, what?
That's Matt Damon.
That's Matt Damon. Matt Damon. Anyway.
2019, Ford v Ferrari with Christian Bale.
I think Ford v Ferrari is a really naff film. I didn't enjoy it at all. I think Christian Bale's doing as best as he can. He's quite interesting, brummy performance. That's a terrible car. What if you should do that? And I think the whole scene where they have a little wrestling match on the lawn is a bit naff.
Right.
But I know people who absolutely love it. They go, oh, did you see the car movie? Oh, the car movie when the cars
Ford v
went
Ferrari,
fast.
great title. Le Mans 66, not as good.
No. I think I don't like either of those titles.
I agree, but if you're trying to sell a movie, Ford v Ferrari, I get it.
Yeah, the two brands, Whereas saying a location and a date is not that. Le Mans.
That's like the holding title.
Yeah, Le Mans
that's when it's going to be. In 2021, I've not seen it. Stillwater.
Stillwater, one word.
Oh, sorry, Stillwater.
Not like this is a bottle of still water. It wasn't the sequel to Sparkling Water. Stillwater. I've not seen another movie where Matt Damon goes to Europe and has a terrible time. This one, he is, I think, looking at somebody who's been horrible to his daughter. It's a bit like Taken, but a bit more like it's a bit more serious, and I think slightly more influenced by stories like the Meredith Kercher murder and things like that. So, I've not seen it though. So,
also in 2021, a film that you and I go on about endlessly for being underrated and misunderstood and mismarketed is The Last Duel.
Last Duel, yeah,
we
love
covered
that.
it.
Jean-Luc Rouge, evil Matt Damon again.
Evil Matt Damon, interesting vantage point-esque point of view, switcher-upper, about medieval consent and violence and sort of like an interesting unpacking of gender and he said, she said.
And the last official duel in France. That's what the people might think what the last duel is, but it is. That's the last duel. Him and Adam Driver. Yeah, he's great in it. And actually, Ben Affleck's in that movie. So people go, oh, it's a Matt Damon and Ben Affleck movie. And he's really good in it.
Everyone's great. Like Adam Driver's doing really interesting work in there. Jodie Comer's fantastic. Like it's a really solid recommend. It's a great one to watch at home and unpack.
Yeah, good. If you like medieval battles and medieval violence, watch that.
In 2023, Air.
And then they made a shoe. Look,
you're harsh on Air.
Because I watched it. I watched it this, that Christmas, and I passingly enjoyed it. Watching it, but I'm sorry. The further I get away from it, I'm like, Air it describes its substance, not just its content. Right? It really is the most like. And then we made a shoe. Going to change the world. And I think it's because the novel. I think it's based on the book Shoe Dog, which is meant to be amazing. But I'm sorry, like when it's a Ben Affleck directed movie, but like it's like needle drop. And what if we did? And the stakes are so low. I mean, like Blackberry is a corporate biopic that is really interesting. But I'm sorry, and when I keep saying, and then they made a shoe. It's originally a Mark Kermo joke, which is just always stuck in my head because I'm like, it's not even about Michael Jordan, one of the most biggest athletes
the back
of all
Michael
time.
Jordan's head, which is just ridiculous how they refuse to show him.
It's
so bad.
I think that everyone turns up on Air and does their best work. You're Chris Tucker, you're Jason Bateman, Ben Affleck, Viola Davis, and it is fine. If you watched it on a plane, it's fine. Have a little nod off.
On a plane.
But like, it's Air in substance as well as content.
Also in 2023, Oppenheimer.
So this is the story. When you said that he'd been putting out two movies a year, he had said to his wife, I'm going to take a bit of a break. I'm going to slow down. And I'm just going to take it. However, I will only, he says, the one exception is if I get offered a part in a Christopher Nolan film. She was like, okay. And then guess what happened, James?
Guess who calls?
He's great in Oppenheimer.
Really good,
he's not the main character, but he is a strong supporting character in the first two of the 3 chapters of the Oppenheimer movie. Yeah. And what's the thing he says that was in the trailer? Is like, it's important. It's like, maybe
there's a 0.1% chance that we ignite. Like,
but it's like, how about this is the most important thing in the history of the world? Like that, you know what I'm talking about? The grand study bit. But he's good moustache in it.
That's the power of Christopher Nolan right now, is that you can have a role of that size, which is not big, but it's not small. It's sort of, it's doing sort of, a busy work in a movie like that. And you can get someone like Matt Damon to do it and be interested and passionate about doing it and drop everything to come and do it. And he is great, along with everyone else who turns up in that movie. And that's what I think the charm of the movie is. It's not just Cillian Murphy as the center point giving a career defining performance. It's every single small character of like David Krumholtz and Robert Downey Jr. and just everyone who's knocking around. Benny Safdie, just everyone's doing great work and turning up.
It makes me think, actually, I'd like to see when the final Odyssey poster comes out, which maybe it's already out, maybe I haven't seen it, is who is getting the above the title credit. So with Oppenheimer, it was Cillian Murphy, Emily Blunt, Matt Damon, Florence Pugh, and Robert Downey Jr. But that's it. And then everyone else is not above the title.
Yeah.
I'm talking who's literally above the title. So it was those 5 actors. And sure enough, at the premiere, those were the 5 actors wheeled out. So in this, I'm assuming it's Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway,
Robert Pattinson.
And that's, maybe that's it. I don't even think Zendaya is that big a role
What
in
about
it.
Benny Safdie? No, I reckon he eats it.
John Bernthal?
John Bernthal. It's a 50-50
Or maybe
on
it's just
John
the 4
Bernthal.
of them, and Nolan's the 5th figure in it. That's it. It's as you say, it's Holland, Patterson, Anne Hathaway, Matt Damon. Yeah.
It'll be
fucking good
it'll be
cast to
and
have.
Robert Pattinson because he's like the bad guy.
Do you think?
Like
I
they
don't
did
know.
and Robert Downey Jr.
Did they do Anne Robert Downey Jr.?
You just said it.
Oh no, I was just finishing my sentence.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I thought you remembered it.
No,
meticulously.
I think. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested in stuff like that.
In 2024, The Instigators.
Didn't see it.
In 2026, we reviewed it recently, The Rip.
Yeah, the straight to Netflix.
Which is an interesting thing. Ben Affleck and Matt
movie.
Damon lately, it's like that film gone to Netflix. Vaporwatch. Was it bad?
No.
Was it great? Not necessarily, but it was perfectly fine and entertaining. There was good moments of tension. I didn't know who to believe for a lot of it. It did feel a bit indoors and Netflixy.
And forgettable.
And a bit forgettable, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it really was quite insubstantial. Yeah.
That's Matt Damon, man.
Matt Damon, and then the Odyssey coming soon.
Which we're really excited to see. This is going to be the biggest role he's ever done. I wonder if the film will be showered with Oscars like Oppenheimer was.
He's looking incredibly trim at the moment, Matt Damon, which makes me think, what's he working on right now that he's in this shape for?
Maybe he's just held it from Odyssey.
I don't
Apparently
know.
he asked Nolan, it's like, well, what do you think the guy should look like? And he said, big but lean.
Which
Strong but lean. But lean, which is like the hardest thing to do, by the way.
Yeah. Just like 0% body fat.
Lose weight, but keep all of your muscle.
Yeah, if that's all right. Am I going to shoot in 3 weeks?
No, he looks great.
Yeah.
They described it as being a really intense, difficult shoot.
He said it's the hardest film he's ever shot. Yeah.
Yeah. Can't wait. Stay tuned for The Odyssey. We'll be talking about it as it comes. That was Matt Damon. I mean, interesting. Like, he's got some duds in there outside of like real flops like The Great Wall or something like that. There's sort of like eras where he sort of wanders around in Soderbergh land and comes back around. He had some like, I'd say like his hot era is sort of through Talented Mr. Ripley into Departed. And then there's sort of like a 2010s.
I would say he enters mid-Damon, if you will.
Oh, yeah.
After The Martian. Bizarrely, even though he's been nominated for an Oscar. And
he kind of has a bit of a...
He goes Great Wall.
We like The Last Duel, but technically...
a lot of people slept on it.
It's the biggest role he's had in a long time.
It's between The Martian and Oppenheimer. I think Oppenheimer is actually the movie that has brought him back. And now The Odyssey is now entering a new era of Matt Damon.
Well, you must have made an impression. You're a good actor.
Exactly.
You're a big star.
But isn't that funny? Like, you would have thought. So like you have the initial period of Matt Damon where it's like big movies like Bourne movies, Ocean's movies, interesting roles like Talented Mr. Ripley. Works with Scorsese, kind of culminates in doing interesting work, Interstellar cameo, and then it kind of concludes with The Martian. And then he becomes mid Damon and does sort of a lot of misfires. Suburbicon is another one we didn't mention. It's meant to be always a train wreck. Downsizing, and then with sorry James, if you want to keep you awake.
No,
I'm just kidding.
I can imagine when he got the call after having done Oppenheimer, because Nolan like sort of 4 months later was like, I'm ready to do another film, by the way, calling him up and saying, would you like to do The Odyssey? Would you like to play Odysseus? I was thinking you would actually be quite appropriate for you to play Odysseus. How do you feel about that?
Yeah.
You got to say yes.
I mean, I think that's literally the call he had.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Christopher Nolan is so powerful. If he was in a room with you and he said that, he is the kind of power to say to an actor, and kneel. Kneel, and I will not.
Genuinely,
of course.
Yeah.
He was you are now Odysseus.
It's like Robert Downey Jr. just makes $100 million a movie off saying, no, you can come.
Are you going to watch Troy? Rewatch Troy. For the
Rewatch
Odyssey,
Troy, no.
as a little counter programming because it's so stylistically different.
I don't think I need to rewatch Troy. I think I've seen Troy quite a lot when, like, back in the day when it was peak Troy. I'm quite good on Troy. Have you seen Troy?
I've seen Troy once.
Yeah, Troy's all right.
I rented it from Blockbuster.
A very crazy expensive movie at that time. Brad Pitt really didn't. He owe someone a. He owed someone a movie and had to do Troy, and he was really pissed off that he was doing it the whole time, but it actually worked because his version of Achilles was like, "You guys suck. I don't want to be here."
Do you know what the most? It's been confirmed what the most expensive movie made of all time is.
Is it a Pirates of the Caribbean film?
No.
Hold on. Is it most expensive movie of all time?
I think we had a similar conversation recently,
old?
but I think they've confirmed it now. No, it's in the last 5 years. So apparently there was
the
rumors
Captain America Brave New World?
No, maybe in a few years that will come out because you'll understand why there's a bit of a delay. But so there was rumors that obviously like The Force Awakens was very expensive, but apparently it's Jurassic World Dominion.
Interesting.
Mostly at 650 million or something.
Which was the...
Actually, what the fuck are we talking? Sorry, excuse my language.
Doomsday will be.
Doomsday will be. Yeah. When the bank balances and the HMRC have looked over it and the IRS have gone through it.
Not out yet because they're still spending money.
In 4 years' time, they'll go, oh yeah, Doomsday.
That's without doubt Sirens on the Run. That's without doubt the biggest film to ever be made, right?
Doomsday.
Yeah. But that's... It was Dominion the one with all of them in it. Yeah. But
that made loads of money.
Yes.
They always do.
They
I don't know if it made that much money.
I don't think it's made enough because I reckon all of them would have been on a 10 to 20 each, right? All of those people, all of those casts.
I don't think the original 3 were that big. I think they probably got like a handful mil each. So like I would say Chris Pratt. No.
You think Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum are doing that for $1 million? You're crazy.
No, not singular million, but single figure million.
Oh yeah. But Pratt and that lot.
Although Laura Dern just won an Oscar for Marriage Story. Yeah, actually,
You'd be surprised if their agents aren't getting them 10 million minimum. Should I find out?
Yeah, if you can do, if that's publicly available. But you know what I mean? So it takes a while for the accounting to happen. But I think in a few years' time, we'll be saying, Dominion, Doomsday. Sorry, it's so hot, guys. I'm just losing my concentration. You confirmed?
Okay, so this is an AI overview. Chris Pratt will probably earn $10 million while his co-lead Bryce Dallas Howard made significantly less.
So if Pratt's only getting 10 million, Neil is not getting the same. He's getting $1 million, I say.
Scarlett Johansson for Rebirth got anywhere between 15 to 20, but she's ScarJo. Stars Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum were brought back for $2 million as significant co-leads, so their exact salary figures remain undisclosed.
ScarJo probably got a higher fee because they trimmed in a way it's a smaller movie, isn't it? Rebirth. Location-wise,
I guess. Yeah.
You know what? I don't care. It's over. Should we? We haven't read any emails out in a while.
Should we do some emails? Let's do it. George, should we go through some of the emails that we get sent into the show every single week? As always, guys, if you want to send in your thoughts, your questions, your concerns,
your news, and your reviews,
you can of course send them into
hello@pulpkitchenpodcast.com. You can see we're a bit out of practice there. Just like, well, who should we start with? What should we start with? What film would you like to start with?
Because we're going to do all of the Disclosure Day and all of the
Probably,
Toy Story.
yeah. Do you want to start with Disclosure Day?
Let's start with Disclosure Day. This first one is from Ruben, who writes in on Disclosure Day. You can check out the review I did with Fred. He says, "A up my favorite dynamic podcast duo brackets." And Fred, in case of guest spot. I have just an hour ago come out of my screening of Disclosure Day. Overall, I found it gripping, especially the end sequence, as well as some excellent action scenes. My biggest criticisms, don't worry guys, this is going to be spoiler-free, but your criticisms have spoilers. So I am going to have to skip some of your spoilery bits. Okay.
Redacted.
He goes on to say,
Redacted.
I believe it lost the run of itself with emotional and over-intelligent jargon, especially when Colin Firth was talking with the characters using the you-know-what. There were certain things that weren't explained, such as the scene when the agent and the empathy angle was literally mentioned once, maybe twice, and never really gave us much of an explanation as to why it affected those people so profoundly. One thing I had a problem with was there seemed to be an underlying political angle inspired by the discussions in Congress, but I felt slightly iffy to me. I enjoyed it and it kept my attention through score, action scenes, and overall approach to the crescendo at the end. But I feel there were a number of story arcs that started and never finished, and Spielberg had a lot of ideas that didn't have the runtime to enable all to be addressed. I hope this makes sense and you don't think I'm talking absolute nonsense. Love you all. Yeah, Ruben, I mean, you touched on some points. Like, I think the film has a sense of magic and wonder and spectacle, but ultimately is a little bit silly, and kind of like once you start picking apart some of the story beats, you go, yeah, it just doesn't quite add up. I don't think it's badly made. I just think it's not really just didn't really resonate towards the end. This one is from Nicholas, who says, hello, James and George and Fred. Well, specifically, hello, James and Fred, since George didn't appear on the episode reviewing Disclosure Day.
I'm allowed to go on holiday.
Anyway, this might be the first time I found myself in profound disagreement with you chaps. Normally, I either nod along or I use your recommendations to help me choose what to watch. But after going to see Disclosure Day yesterday at our local multiplex and having a smashing time, I was surprised to hear James and Fred gave the film such a damning indictment. But after listening to their review, I think I understand where our perspectives diverge. Like the vast majority of cinema goers, I didn't enter the cinema with any great preconceived notions of what the film was to be about, nor did I think it was going to be a grand statement on anything. My expectation that it was going to be a return to popcorn storytelling for the master storyteller, and in that respect, I was absolutely thrilled to be right. This film is a sci-fi thriller, small in scale, with shades of the conspiracy-type movies of the 1970s. Of all Spielberg's work, I thought the film it most reminded me of was not Close Encounters or E.T., it was Duel, his 1971 truck-chasing-a-man TV movie that first demonstrated his chops as a director. Disclosure Day is essentially one long chase movie with some absolutely epic set pieces, brackets, the train stuff was done so well, and a pace that didn't let up until the final frame. It ran over 2 hours, but it felt like a taut 90 minutes with fantastic actors giving wonderful performances in an adrenaline rush of pure storytelling. While it doesn't have the operatic grandeur of Saving Private Ryan or Jurassic Park, I don't think it needed to. It was small. I don't think it needed to. It was a small taut movie selling a simple story with masterful execution. The criticism I've seen around the film mostly seems to be because audiences went in to watch it expecting something big and meaningful. We all know Spielberg can do big and meaningful, but I don't think that's what this movie ever intended to be. It was a fun ride with a great cast and an awesome message, thoroughly enjoyable. Anyway, apologies for being disagreeable. Still love the show. Nick from Australia. P.S. I think there's a danger for people who are perhaps more online than most to assume that everyone has the view that facts don't matter and that conventional news reporting is dead. You only have to look as recently as QE2's death 4 years ago to see that such statements are wildly overblown. People still look to trusted news sources to tell them the truth. Maybe the waters are muddied by AI and the current poisonous political situation, but the medium hasn't completely decayed beyond saving. Not yet, at least.
Very interesting. You almost, by talking around the movie, increasing my kind of curiosity.
Yeah, do you think you're going to do it?
I will definitely see it this year. I don't know, given that everything's happening with stuff with my life at the moment, that by the time I get back, I think it'll probably have left cinemas.
Yeah.
So I think I'll have to wait to watch it at home, which is fine.
Just this last one on Disclosure Day from friend of the show, Yanis, who loves to write with emojis. Hello, James and George and James and co. Haven't written in for a while, but I thought I would for Disclosure Day. Alien emoji, UFO emoji. I said, I'm quite surprised it's not doing as well as I thought. Yes, it's not a grand new concept, but the fact that it's coming from Spielberg returning to Alien films is what makes it so special. Sparkles emoji. The trailers weren't particularly enticing, thought-provoking emoji, cloud emoji, but the film is quite an incredible achievement, given it's not one of the best. Even if it's not one of the best Spielbergs, the use of glass and reflections, mirror emoji, throughout feels otherworldly. The emotion-filled performance from Emily Blunt, sun poking through cloud, rain, tornado, sun emoji, and Courtney Grace, newspaper emoji, added so much depth and realism. Also, John Williams' score is such an emotional standout. Harp, violin. The music in the end credits,
hieroglyphics.
Wow. I do think that it's a shame the information was told to the viewer before people in the film found out, that otherwise might have been made some reveals more impactful. But otherwise, I was worried that Disclosure Day wouldn't feel like a Spielberg film, but I'm glad I come out of it feeling the movie magic that I associate with him. Side note, but 2026 is such a big year for film. Fire emoji. And I feel like it's living up to the excitement of it. Hands up emoji. Are there any other major disappointments or surprises now that we're halfway through the year? Bone Temple, bone emoji. Obsession, tree branch emoji. I feel like the best is yet to come.
Is it a wand?
Could be
like the One Wish Willow.
One Wish Willow, maybe. Best is yet to come. Odyssey, boat emoji. Digger, shovel emoji. Peak Part 3, sand timer, volcano emoji.
June, does he mean June Part 3?
Peak Part 3, yeah. It's a sand timer and it looks like a desert, yeah,
right.
Sorry. Along with films you don't really know that.
I think this is thoroughly
all the
jargony.
Best.
Thank you, Yanis. I think next time we do it, it's
a non-emoji.
emoji. Let's move on to Toy Story 5, which I reviewed a couple of weeks ago.
I just now the time to see it yet, but
no, it's fine. Again, I'll keep this spoiler free. I'll read through these emails. The first one's from a friend of the show, Declan, who says, "Hey lads, long-time listener, writing back in. As a lifelong Toy Story fan and a young adult who has the toys from his childhood proudly on his bookshelf, including Rex, Woody, and my other favourites from the franchise, my inner child was beyond elated for a new Toy Story movie." I watched it last night, Thursday, the 18th of June, and was so excited. It's like dispatches from the trenches. But this is the only film in the saga I've come away from feeling mixed. The army of buzzes felt weirdly random and somewhat redundant to the overall story. I was bummed out when my favourites of Ham, Slinky and Potato Head were barely given any lines and lacked any sort of role. I feel
Have
like
they ever had a big role?
they were probably bigger in the early days. I will say that, like,
That big? Come on.
Mr. Potato Head doesn't have that many lines anymore because the original voice actor is dead. So
Yeah.
they've recast it, but he probably only has about 5 lines.
They've always
maybe.
been part of the game.
Slinky's probably getting a lot of stuff in
Woody.
here. Woody, no.
Woody, no.
No, I still think they're. But anyway,
Yep.
I feel like maybe there should have been a car boot sale to get rid of some of the old toys. That is traumatic. You
What
can't
happened
do
in
that.
2? They did that in 2.
With a birthday or Christmas to give away to some new faces for Bonnie to play with. No. I like seeing Ham and Rex and Slinky. And Potato Head. They're my guys. Just side characters, but it'd make things feel fresher than retaining Andy's toys for the sake of it. Boo. I love Jesse taking the lead. It was a genius move and one very well done. Alas, my biggest questions are, is this story existential enough? And is there a Pixar moment? Elaborating on the first, Toy Story is born from existentialism, with the first film tackling it from Woody feeling replaced by Buzz, the second film tackling the topic of immortality, the third about perception of a good life versus what makes a good life, letting a fading one go, and the fourth is about Woody learning to let go when he feels himself becoming redundant in the life he's living. The fifth, well, what is that element in this story? Tech versus toys, yes, it's there, but it feels like it could have gone deeper somewhat because they were always going to go to this conclusion of not saying one or the other is wholly bad. In the world we live in, we need both. It is a new age. And in terms of the Pixar moment, there's Buzz's fall from grace in the first movie. Every Pixar moment has a moment where the story feels it's built around. But I'm struggling to think about a hard-hitting moment where Toy Story 5 was built around. I mean, I really disagree. There's a very particular singular moment in Toy Story 5 that I can think of that is exactly that moment. Which you'll know when you get to, frankly. Okay. Again, I'm a lifelong fan of the franchise. And
Sirens on our
end. And I'm always going to love a new film, but I'd love to hear your thoughts because these questions are the only things making me think that they were missing a few ingredients. But also, I only saw it last night and I had extremely high expectations because I loved all the others. So my thoughts may order themselves in times, but I'd love to hear what you think. Loving Pulp Kitchen to Infinity Beyond, Declan.
Thank you,
Declan. I did you disagree with you there? I know some other people have been to see it. They loved it. The main thing they're saying is, I love just being back in the company with these toys again, which is great to hear. I do think the film has those moments, and I laughed and cheered, but and cried too. I do love it for that. And Matt also writes in about Toy Story 5. He says, "Top of the morning to you, Buzz and Woody, Woody and Buzz."
Oh,
like
yeah,
that.
no, cute.
Who do you think's who?
Oh. I can't really see either.
I mean, you're taller, so you're probably Woody.
Oh, that's
But I think we necessarily share the
I reject your
characteristics
comparison.
I thought I don't reject your comparison. You're obsessed with me as Woody.
It doesn't fit.
I'm more
going to force it.
a Rex. I think
You're kind of Rexy, actually.
A Rex. I like the Rex ham potato head kind of personality.
Yeah, that's more us.
Yeah.
A bit more out there.
Matt goes on to say, "I'll get straight to it. How could you? How could you?" All caps.
Oh, God.
Seriously, how could you so criminally underserve the absolute
that was a Simon
masterpiece?
Cowell. I didn't like it. I loved it. You're
the
through to boot
absolute
camp.
masterpiece that was Toy Story 5. So Matt clearly loves it.
Yeah.
Yes, you said lovely things. Yes, you said it exceeded expectations. Yes, you admitted it justified its existence perhaps more than Toy Story 4, when most of us walked away thinking, another Pixar cash grab. Yes, you were complimentary about the decision to make Jesse the central character. And yes, you encouraged us to all see it so we could laugh and cry and squirm and just feel. But what you fail to articulate is that you could stop wars with this film, cure diseases, reverse climate change, and any other great cause of
He's
sadness.
not writing this, he's pacing while someone who's intern furiously writes it down. Get a pen.
You should have sounded an alarm for every human to rush their nearest multiplex and demand a screening every hour until the end of time, or world peace is secured. A quick rundown of the 3 films after which I have sat rooted to my cinema seat until the end credits. That was Ex Machina, Oppenheimer, and now Toy Story 5. Where for the other 2, it was because I was questioning my very existence and feared the outside world. On Sunday, it was because I hoped if I stay and sat a little longer, they'd just run the whole thing again and again. A bit of context. In September, I'll become a father for the first time to a baby girl, which meant Bonnie's struggle spoke directly to a collection of fears I'm absolutely carrying around.
I also grew up with Toy Story. I've seen everyone on opening weekend, including a special advanced screening of Toy Story 2 on my 16th birthday at Leicester Square Odeon. And in a wondrous example of life imitating art, I have the same thinning crown on the back of my head like Woody in this film. So bad I hate sitting anywhere but the back in case the projector shines off of it. So perhaps I'm just emotionally inclined to feel this way. But my God, what a 90 minutes with absolute zero bagginess. Bravo.
90 minutes,
no, it's actually nearly 2 hours. But it feels like 90 minutes. Every Easter egg was immaculate. Every emotional pivot, every throwback and reflective moment played to absolute perfection. Films, especially children's films, tend to ham those moments up too much, signposting it all to the point where adults can duck the emotional right hook, but not this. Characters' greatest hits played to their maximum, but never exaggerated for the sake of some viral-seeking social media clip. A brilliantly paced dose, and even Toy Story 3 drags in the final act, in my opinion, of escapism that doesn't ask anything more of you other than to sit back and smile, even while crying. No one has poisoned this waterhole. And as I reread the above, I realise I haven't really reviewed the film here, just emotionally unloaded. And that's the win. A cinema experience of such unbridled emotion, you don't even need to think while you're loving it. You just know deep in your soul that you are better for having seen it. Take one and all. Well, there you go, guys. Don't take my word on it.
The most glowing review we've ever read for a film.
Absolutely.
Well, there you go.
I mean, do go see it, and I hope you have a chance to catch it, because it's just such a, you know what it is, James? I would say, knowing the way that we like to watch films, go watch that like 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
With a coffee. And you'll come out. You know when we saw Inside Out 2, we watched that in the morning.
Yeah.
We came out, you just feel better in the day.
Yeah.
You're like, why are you so happy? Well, I saw a Pixar movie this morning.
Crime Wave in Godalming.
Yeah, there is.
I think he needs to become Batman and sort of like take on the night.
There is that kind of, that feeling when you watch a great film in the morning.
I'm currently very into the 5 p.m. which we never get to go to because a lot of our things are like
I'm quite anti the 5 p.m.
I quite like 5 p.m. because 5 p.m. you don't need to eat beforehand, right? You come out, it's 7. It's 7:30. Have dinner, done. You're home in time for bed. Versus the 6:30,
Oh, no, I get you there, actually.
You've now come out at 8:30, 9:30, 10. It's too late to really have a meal. You're now eating late. You're sleeping badly. You can't really...
Stephen Bartlett here.
I went to a late 7:30 screening and it ruined my life.
I had to go and see Toy Story 5 at 8 p.m. and it ruined 3 days of my life.
On that note, thank you so much for sending in your emails. We have loads more to read out. We will do our best to get to them in the coming episodes. As always, send in your thoughts to hello@popkitchenpodcast.com. Before we finish today, George, let's end
with a game. James, as ever, Pulp Kitchen ends
with a game.
That's right, we're back with a game with more miscellaneous name a movie things, which really seems to be the main game genre we've been doing this year because people seem to like it.
It's the game of 2026.
And the longer we play the game, the more niche and strange we have to make the questions. So, James, are you ready for some more name the movie stuff?
I'm ready for more name of the movie stuff.
Okay, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Name a movie where someone drives a boat.
Jaws.
Yes. Name a movie where a character flies a helicopter.
Mission Impossible Fallout.
Name a movie with a snake in it.
Snakes on a Plane.
Many. Good shout. Name a non-Marvel and non-DC superhero movie.
Kick-Ass.
Yes, Kick-Ass is correct. Name a movie that features toys that isn't Toy Story.
Small Soldiers.
I love that movie. What a great shout. Yeah, great toy movie.
Dig there. Yeah.
Name a movie that has a Name a movie that has a musician playing a role that isn't Lady Gaga.
Social Network, Justin Timberlake.
Well done. Name a movie where someone catches a train.
Somebody catches a train in Mission Impossible 1.
You love the Mission Impossible 1. What train? Oh,
the train scene. Or Skyfall. Bond, get on the train.
Is he in the train in Mission Impossible 1?
He's just someone's outside. In the train.
He is.
I'll give you Skyfall. Bond, get on the train.
Gotcha. Name a movie where someone loses their head.
A movie where somebody loses their head. Clean off, ride off. Napoleon.
Yeah, at the beginning, of course, you're married to that. Name a movie with a pig in it that isn't Babe.
Animal Farm.
Which movie version are we talking about here?
Any of them.
You just reached for that. You just go with the pig. Give me the specific.
Toy Story is a pig.
Animated pig with a ham. Come on, give me a real pig.
Babe Pig in the City. A real pig would have to be... Oh.
Yeah. I'm talking about a real pig. Bit of swine.
Feed them to the pigs. What gets fed to the pigs?
Oh, that's in... Yeah, I know what movie that is.
What gets fed to the pigs?
Feed them to the pigs, Errol.
Oh.
Do you know what nemesis means? Do you know it?
You did Christian Bale?
No, that does sound like
You
Christian
sound
Bale.
like Christian Bale.
No. Do you know what nemesis means? No, I don't. And Tommy don't know either. Feed them to the pigs, Errol.
What is it?
It's Snatch.
Oh,
Bricktop.
right. Oh,
Do you
yeah,
know he feeds them to the
Snatch.
pigs?
Yeah,
There is
yeah,
also
yeah.
the Nicolas Cage movie Pig, which I've not seen, but you know, I don't think you have either. But there you go.
A good tickler there. I enjoyed that.
There you go. That was Guess the Movie for this week. And that was Pulp Kitchen for this week. I hope you enjoyed our little rundown of Matt Damon's career. Stay tuned for other stuff that's on the feed. We're doing, we've done reviews of Supergirl and The Invite. And I also gave a reaction to House of the Dragon in that. We had our Jack Whitehall episode last week, which was great. If you haven't caught up with that yet, please do. Lots of fun stuff there. Thank you for putting up with us recording this in quite warm heat. It's quite balmy, I'd say.
It's really clammy.
It's really, it's close.
George is going to be off for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm off for 2 weeks now, sorry.
So he'll be a married man by the time he gets back, ring on finger, clattering against the mic, I assume. He will be corrupted and unaging by the ring.
I can make all these jokes now, James.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
I've got a funny video to show you that you'll now get.
Oh,
you've
okay.
seen
I'm off for now 2 weeks. So, over to James with the substitutions for 2 weeks.
All the best, guys. Thank you so much. We massively appreciate you. Check out Double Take. Thank you very much to all our producers. We'll see you next week.
Thank you, guys. Bye.